Thomas the Tank Engine is very proud of his branch line and knows it very well. His friends Percy and Toby help out too, with both passengers and goods. The three engines got along together very well, but soon afterwards they were feeling exhausted.
Phew, I don't mind hard work, but my axles ache from having to take so many trucks from the quarry.
I haven't seen Andy and Clarabelle have so many passengers in a long time. The poor coaches felt so full.
We're overworked. I feel it's time we got some more help here on the branch line. We three can't do it alone.
I quite agree, Percy. I know you three have been working hard, and I'm proud of you, but you need help. So, I sent for 2 diesels to work on the branch line.
I just hope these two aren't like that devious Diesel.
I wouldn't be too worried, Percy. Not all diesels are horrid, and I'm sure these two won't be either.
The next day, the first of the diesels arrived. She was very long, with seats and windows like coaches. Her bright green paint sparkled in the sunshine. The engines had to admit they were very impressed.
This is Daisy the diesel railcar. She'll be helping you and Toby with passengers, Thomas.
Yes, sir. Welcome to the branch line, Daisy.
Thank you, darling. Now, if you don't mind, I'd like to take a rest before I start work tomorrow. Do you have a shed I can stay in?
We certainly do. Follow us.
This is awfully smelly, and anything smelly is bad for my swerves.
Well, we do have a carriage shed, Daisy. Come on, we'll show you.
Now this is better, but whatever is that rubbish?
Hey, that rubbish is Andy and Clarabelle.
And Henrietta too.
What a rude engine! Calling us names, saying we're rubbish. We won't stay here to be insulted.
Thomas and Toby had to spend the rest of the evening soothing their ruffled feelings. The next morning, the 2 engines felt exhausted.
Cursed makeup mook.
I know what you mean. Ugh, my poor wheels ache from all that rushing about. And I didn't get a wink last night.
Rise and shine, boys! Well, goodness, you do look terrible. I think a bit of the best makeup should do you nicely. Anyway, I have my first passengers to take today. Toodles!
To say at least she's not devious isn't saying much.
Daisy purred into the station platform where her passengers were waiting.
Look at me. I'm the latest diesel, high-sprung and right up to date. You won't want Thomas's bumpy old Annie and Clarabelle now.
Well, I never. How rude.
Don't bother listening to her, girls. You two are better than that high and mighty snob any day.
The passengers were interested. They climbed in and sat back comfortably, waiting for Daisy to start. But she didn't. As soon as she saw that the tanker was to be coupled to her, Daisy stopped purring.
Oh, what is the meaning of this? What's that thing behind me?
A milk tanker, obviously. The farmers send their milk so it can be taken to the dairy. Usually I do this job, but now it's your turn.
Do they expect me to pull that?
Well, you said it yourself. You are the latest diesel after all, so now your latest job is taking this.
Don't make such a fuss, Daisy. Surely you can pull one truck.
I won't. Percy can do it. He loves messing about with trucks.
Nonsense. Come on now, back down.
Daisy lurched backwards. She was so cross that she blew a fuse.
Told you.
The shunter, the guard, the station master, and her driver all argued with her, but it was no use.
Crumbs, Daisy. It's only a truck for crying out loud. Why won't you pull it?
It's Fitter's orders.
What is?
My Fitter's a very nice man. He is interested in my case. He comes every week and examines me carefully. Daisy, he says, never ever pull. You are highly strung and pulling is bad for your swerves. So that's how it is.
Stuff and nonsense!
Sounds like an excuse for laziness if you ask me.
Stupid old waste of space! I can't understand. Whatever made Sir Topham Hatt send us such a feeble...
Feeble? Let me!
Alright, that's enough. Our passengers are late already.
So they uncoupled the tanker, and Percy was forced to take it away and put it on Thomas's train instead. Needless to say, Thomas was cross.
Behaving like that won't get you far around here.
Shows what you know, darling. I'll do just what work I choose and no more. My ways will improve this petty little backwater line of yours.
Not on my watch. Puh!
Well, she's quite a sassy one. I just hope that other diesel's not like her.
On a brighter note to Percy, this other diesel wasn't lazy at all, but in fact, a rather feisty one on the downside. Her name was Mavis. She was put to work at the quarry to shunt trucks in their sidings. Mavis is young and full of her own ideas. She is sure they are better than anybody else's. She loves rearranging things and put Toby's trucks in different places every day. This made Toby cross.
Trucks should be where you want them, when you want them.
Fiddlesticks.
At last, Toby lost patience.
I can't waste time playing hunt the trucks with you. Take 'em yourself.
Mavis was delighted. Taking trucks made her feel important. At Farquhar Sheds, she met Daisy, who was glad of a diesel to talk to.
Well, what's wrong with you, dearie?
It's that box-faced Toby. He's an old fusspot.
Steam engines have their uses, but they don't understand.
Toby says only steam engines can manage trucks properly.
What rubbish! Depend upon it, my dear. Anything steam engines can do, we diesels can do better.
Since she still kept refusing to take the milk van, Daisy knew nothing about trucks. But Mavis was too stuck up to realise this. Toby's line crosses the main road behind Farquhar Station and, for a short way, follows a farm lane. In wet weather, animals, carts and tractors make the lane muddy and slippery. In frosty weather, Toby stops before reaching the lane, and while some of his trucks are still on the slope. This ensures that they can't hold him back, and their weight helps him forward till his wheels can grip again. When frost came, Toby warned Mavis and told her just what to do.
I can manage, thank you. I'm not an old fusspot like you.
The trucks were tired of being pushed around by Mavis.
It's slippery. Let's push her around instead. On.
Mavis wasn't taking any chances. She brought them carefully down to the lane and stopped at the level crossing. There, her second man halted the traffic while the guard unpinned the wagon brakes.
One in the headlamps of fusspot Toby.
She looked forward to having a good giggle about it with Daisy. But she never got to. She was so sure she was right that she'd stopped in the wrong place. Mavis had given the trucks the chance they wanted.
Hold back!
Come on!
The trucks just laughed, and her wheels spun helplessly. They sanded the rails and tried to dig away the frozen mud, but only broke the spade. Cars and lorries tooted impatiently from either side.
Bother it all!
Toby was at the shed when he heard the news.
I warned her. I told her where to stop. I can manage, she said, and called me an old fusspot.
She's young yet. And
She can manage her trucks herself.
they're your trucks, really. Mavis isn't supposed to come down here. If Sir Topham had...
You wouldn't tell, would you?
Of course not.
Well then,
But if we don't help clear the line, he'll soon know all about it, and so shall we.
Yes. Perhaps we should help her after all.
An angry farmer was telling Mavis just what she could do with her train. Just then, Toby arrived.
Having trouble, Mavis? I am surprised.
With much puffing and wheel slip, Toby pushed the trucks back. Mavis hardly helped at all. The hard work made Toby's fire burn fiercely. He then reversed, stopping at intervals while his firemen sprayed hot cinders to melt the frozen mud.
I'd better be on my way. Goodbye.
Mavis didn't answer. She took the trucks to the sheds and scuttled home as quickly as she could. Sir Topham Hatt spoke to Mavis severely.
You are a very naughty engine. You have no business to go jauntering down Toby's line instead of doing your work up here.
It's not Toby, sir. He's a fusspot.
Toby has forgotten more about trucks than you will ever know. You will put the trucks where he wants them and nowhere else.
But...
There are no buts. You will do as you are told, or else.
Soon the weather had grown warmer. It was a busy time at the quarry. Mavis had to work hard to get the trucks into place, but she was never allowed to take them along Toby's line.
Why shouldn't I go on Toby's line?
She started making plans. One day, as Mavis was shunting, she spoke to the trucks.
Can you keep a secret?
Yes.
When we get to the beginning of Toby's line, will you bump me at the level crossing and tell no one I asked you?
The trucks were delighted and promised. Meanwhile, Toby brought Henrietta to the top station. Percy was grumpily shunting.
Hello, Percy. I see Daisy left the milk again.
I'll have to make a special journey with it, I suppose. Anyone would think I'd have nothing to do.
Tell you what, I'll take the milk, you fetch my trucks. But remember what Thomas and I told you? Those trucks at the quarry are quite difficult to handle.
I'll be extra careful. Don't you worry your buffers off, Toby.
Their drivers and the station master agreed, and both engines set off. They thought it a nice change. Percy trundled away to the quarry. He always enjoyed the hustle and bustle of it. Percy found his trucks waiting for him and roughly bumped them into place.
Hurry along!
What Percy didn't know was that these were the ones Mavis asked to give her a bump. The trucks decided to bump him anyway.
One engine is as good as another!
Yeah, this'll be fun.
More than that, this is Toby's place. Percy's got no right to poke his funnel up here and push us around.
Pay Percy out.
Pay Percy out! Come along. No nonsense.
We'll give him nonsense.
But they followed so quietly that Percy thought they were completely under control. They rumbled along the twisty line till they saw ahead the notice saying, "All trains stop to pin down brakes." This was the signal for the trucks.
Brakes guard, please.
But before he could check them, the trucks surged forward.
Whoa! Help! Help!
Frantically trying to grip the rails, he slid past the engine shed into the yard.
Oh no! Look out! Whoa!
The brake van was in smithereens. Percy, still whistling fit to burst, was perched on a couple of trucks, while his own trucks were piled up behind him. He was in a dreadful mess. Sir Topham Hatt arrived next day. Mavis, Toby and Daisy had helped to clear most of the wreckage, but Percy still stood on his perch.
Oh, I'm sorry, sir. I don't know how it happened.
I'm fully aware this accident wasn't your fault, Percy. Because I can see who are the real culprits for this mess. My engines do not tell lies nor plan out the most outrageous ideas. They work hard with no shrieking. I send lazy and troublesome engines away. However, Toby said you both worked hard after Percy's accident, and I can see you are both sorry. So I'll give you both a second chance.
Thank you, sir. We will work hard.
Yes, sir. Toby promised to help us.
Maybe count me in too.
Thomas, are you sure?
Certainly, Toby. Since they're going to be a part of the branch line, it's only fair that a real expert can help them too. I know I had a lot to learn when I first started work here.
I think that's a very good idea, Thomas.
Well, I never thought I'd see the day that our cheeky fussy Thomas becomes a teacher.
Well, you know, Toby, it's the least I can do. Those two aren't so bad after all.
With Percy sent to the works, Daisy had to do some of his work as well as her own. She soon got used to pulling trucks and didn't complain once. Mavis was soon back at work in the quarry, keeping the trucks in line, and sometimes even got to travel down parts of the branch line. All engines are now friends, and Daisy and Mavis are happy too. Both Diesels feel very proud to have a new home and to be a part of Sir Topham Hatt's railway.